Hey, how's it going everybody? My name is Aaron J. Holt, back at it again with another React video. So, as you guys know, I am a big fan of Lydia the Bard, specifically her Disney villain songs. And it has been quite a while since I've done a React video to her Disney villain songs, and I have a few special requests to get to. So I thought for today, I might as well get to one of those requests. It has been long overdue. So two of you have requested that I react to Rapunzel's villain songs. At Victor Peruska-GT600 requests there are two parts of Rapunzel villain songs, recommend react the first one and the second. And at Cliff1572 asks, hope to see your reaction to Lydia the Bard Rapunzel villain song part 2. Well, at Victor Peruska-GT600 and at Cliff1572, your wish is my command. Actually, I can't throw this. It's very breakable. It's very breakable. Be careful. So yes, today I will be reacting to Rapunzel's villain songs. And I actually found out that there is actually a third Rapunzel villain song. Not really a third one, it actually takes place between the first and second Rapunzel villain songs. So it's like a 1.5. So I'll be reacting to that one as well. So, yes, I'll be reacting to the first Rapunzel villain song entitled Rapunzel's Villain Song, Mother Knows Best. Uploaded, of course, by Lydia the Bard. Uploaded 2 years ago and has 5.1 million views as of this recording, you guys. Wow. Then I'll be reacting to the in-between song, Rapunzel's Hurt Incarnation cover by Lydia the Bard from Tangled, uploaded 2 years ago and has 1.2 million views as of this recording. Wow. And then I'll be reacting to Rapunzel's Villain Song Part 2, When Will My Life Begin, uploaded, once again, by Lydia the Bard, 9 months ago and has 1.7 million views as of this recording, you guys. Wow. Whew, I gotta say, you guys, this is gonna be a lot to get through, so strap in because we have a lot to react to today. But before we get to reacting, you know what time it is. It's story time. To the description! Night has fallen, a chill is in the air, and we meet Rapunzel sitting in her tower. 6 months ago, Flynn Rider sailed away after stealing her crown and abandoning her forever. Only her mother could understand how she felt and help patch her back together. Mother was always right after all. The outside world is no place for Rapunzel. Yeah, she lied to her, that's what happened. Manipulator. With her faith in humanity destroyed, Rapunzel confided in her mother, sharing her heartbreak and grief with the only person she believed ever really loved her. Mother Gothel saw an opportunity and stoked the growing hatred in Rapunzel's heart until she despised the outside world and humanity just as much as she did. The world is dark and selfish and cruel. If it sees even the slightest ray of sunshine, it destroys it. Vulnerable and heartbroken, it was rather easy to warp and manipulate Rapunzel into someone unrecognizable. Yeah, when someone's at their lowest, it's easy. Our protagonist never does learn that Flynn was set up by her own mother and that he didn't actually betray her. After being tricked by Mother Gothel, Flynn is quickly caught and sent to prison with no opportunity to explain himself to Rapunzel. This is where our story departs from the original, as Flynn never managed to escape. After 6 months, eventually he is released on good behavior. Finally, he can make his way to Rapunzel and explain what happened. By now, though, it is far too late. Oh boy. I dread to see what Rapunzel has become. Rapunzel has been stewing in grief and bitterness for far too long, and now her heart has turned as dark as her mother's. No one is safe, certainly not Flynn Rider, and she will have her revenge. Man. A flower that grows in darkness. I hate to see what that becomes. So yes, this is gonna be very, very interesting to see. And considering that And considering that we have 3 parts to react to, you know, this is gonna be a very, very deep dive. I can't wait to see how Rapunzel's story turns out in this big arc, and we have a lot to divest. Not divest. What is the right term? What is the right term? We have a lot to dive into. I guess is the right thing to say. Yeah. We have a lot to dive into. I'm sorry. I am so totally tongue-tied. I haven't slept in years. But yes, we have a lot to dive into. And like I've said before, my respect and my respect and expectations for Lydia the Bard's videos always grows and grows and grows with each and every video that I react to. And if you haven't seen my other reactions to Lydia the Bard's videos, I'll leave a link to the playlist down in the description below. Please go feel free to check it out. But we've already wasted enough time, you know, already. So what do you say, guys?
Let's get started.
I can't believe I let myself think he really loved me, Pascal. I mean, who can blame him? I've been locked up in a tower my whole life. Who'd want someone like that? I should have stayed with Mother. Then none of this would have happened. Mother knows best, should have listened to your mother. It's a scary world out there. Mother knows best, one way or another. Things always go wrong, I swear. Gullible, naive, positively grubby, ditzy and a bit, well, vague. Plus I believe he never really loved me. I'm just saying, 'cause I loved you. Mother's right here, Mother will protect me. I'll do whatever she suggests. Skip the drama, stay with Mama. Mother knows best. People are evil, Pascal. They take advantage of your weaknesses and steal whatever they can before abandoning you. The world is dark and selfish and cruel. If it finds even the slightest ray of sunshine, it destroys it. It's just me and Mother now. And trust me when I say that Flynn Rider will regret the day he ever crossed me. All those days watching from the windows, all those years outside looking in, all that time never even knowing just how blind I've been. Now I'm here blinking in the starlight. Now I'm here, suddenly I see, standing here, it's all so clear. I'm where I'm meant to be, and at last I see the light. And it's like your mask has lifted, and at last I see the light. And it's like the sky is new, and it's cold and coarse and cruel, and my world has finally shifted. Let's finish this.
Wow. Awesome. Awesome. Biggest thing I want to point out is, like, you know, how well that, like, you know, what was in the movie was, you know, the most romantic song in the movie was turned into, you know, her most, you know, heartbreaking song, you know, and oh my gosh. kind of hard to describe, like, just dropping, put it in a minor key and, just setting a different tone, and holy crap, the song just takes on a whole new meaning, Because, yeah, instead of just, instead of being romantic, now it's full of grief, bitterness, and revenge, instead of, like, love and hope. Whew. But, yeah, you can totally tell, like, without, knowing the full context, through deceit and all that, she's, her heart has become full of just bitterness and revenge. Funny thing about darkness, let it consume you. Soon enough, you lose sight of everything. Oh my gosh. Well done. Well done. And so now we are moving on to the in-between song, the Rapunzel's Hurt Incantation cover. And before we do that, of course, once again, you know what time it is. It's story time. To the description once again! And I need to get a carpet thing for my office chair. I'm not moving well. So, as a recap, in this story, Rapunzel never learns the truth, that Flynn had been set up by her mother and was tricked into looking like he betrayed her by stealing her crown. She is left to believe that Flynn betrayed her. Flynn then goes to prison as he did in the original film and never escapes to save Rapunzel. Some small changes to the original story with dire consequences. No kidding. Rapunzel returns to live with her mother willingly, and slowly gives into her rhetoric that the outside world is evil, not needing much convincing as she is still reeling from Flynn's betrayal. Rapunzel sits and stews as what was once a bright young woman becomes something much darker. I understand that, a lot more than some people realize. Eventually, she leaves the tower to find and take her revenge out on Flynn. He betrayed her and then abandoned her just like Mother said he would. And for that, he'll pay the price. But before that, she has other business to deal with. Mother told her that people were evil and cruel, and she was right about Flynn, so what better time to take out all those potential threats? She sings the hurt incantation throughout the kingdom to anyone that might hear it, poisoning their minds and destroying all those that meant to harm her and her mother. Finally, her true spirit is free, finally her true spirit is free. She never felt this powerful. And next, Flynn Rider. Hopefully the story makes sense. So, timeline-wise, in Rapunzel's villain story, she sings this just after the first villain song we created for her, which is linked above. I do plan on creating another song for her in the future to continue this story, but you'll have to wait to see her final showdown with Flynn. Wink, wink emoji. Hopefully this is a fun little addition to what will become a full arc. Peace emoji. Bye! Good thing I'm reacting to all three of them now. But yeah, I am really glad that I'm reacting to all three of them now, you guys. So, without any further ado, here it is. My reaction to Rapunzel's Hurt Incarnation. Love the piano.
Wither and decay, and this destiny, break these earthly chains and set the spirit free. Take what has been heard, grant them no mercy. Bend and break the reins and set the spirit free. The spirit free.
Nice. This actually reminded me of Elsa's Into the Unknown, the dark one, the dark cover that Lydia did. And yeah, this is so cool. Because this is, yeah, the incantation, I see now why it's called the Hurt Incantation, because, yeah, the incantation that, you know, that was used for the enchanted flower to heal, yeah, now it's meant to hurt. But yeah, like, throughout that whole thing, I was just envisioning, like, you know, because I saw, like, you know, like in the movie, you know, when Mother Gothel was singing, you know, to the flower and, like, inhaling it, and then you saw her old features becoming youthful once again. When I was hearing the Hurt Incantation, I was just envisioning, like, people all of a sudden, like, their flesh just, like, beginning to rot, like, becoming, like, zombie-like, you know, their flesh just rotting and their hair just, like, slowly, you know, decaying and, like, falling out, and their eyes just going, like, pale and sunken into their skulls, you know, just, like, becoming all rotten and, like, just withering away. And oh my gosh. And that piano, just entering with that sad piano. Oh my gosh. Like, you could really, really feel that pain. My gosh. I'm starting to get a little teary-eyed. My gosh. Either that or it's because I haven't slept well for these last couple of nights, because we're entering the final 2 weeks of rehearsal for The Little Mermaid, and, you know, that's the time when, you know, you haven't really gotten a whole lot of sleep. So, and that brings us to the here and now. Finally, Rapunzel's villain song part 2. And once again, you know what time it is. It's story time. To the description! We're gonna get old doing this thing, I swear. So I'm kinda messing with the Rapunzel lore here, sorry not sorry. In our previous tale, we met Rapunzel as she sat alone in her tower, gazing out into the starless sky. It had been 6 months since her heart had been shattered and Flynn Rider had sailed away after stealing her crown. So she turned to the only person she had left, her mother. Yeah, her mother deceived her. That's what bad people do, they deceive you. Rapunzel confided in her mother, sharing her pain and grief, and Mother listened. But all was not as it seemed. Where Rapunzel saw a loving mother finally taking the time to hear her, what Gothel truly saw was an opportunity. Slowly, Gothel began to water the seeds of distrust and bitterness that Rapunzel had towards humanity, until she had a hatred that rivaled her own. Yeah. The world is dark and selfish and cruel. If it finds even the slightest ray of sunshine, it destroys it. And so our Rapunzel began to fade day by day until she became completely unrecognizable. That's the thing about darkness. Let it consume you, and soon enough, you lose sight of everything. She never did learn the truth. Flynn had not betrayed her. He had been framed by Mother Gothel and then swiftly captured and imprisoned with no chance to explain himself. His execution was delayed again and again as a rumor of a dangerous, potentially deadly moonstone spread amongst the kingdom, and all the guards were sent to find out. With most of the guards out searching, Flynn finally managed to break free and began making his way to Rapunzel to finally explain exactly what happened and win back her heart, or trust. But by the time he reached her, it was too late. Yeah. In the months that Flynn had been gone, Gothel had successfully stoked the bitterness in Rapunzel's heart and created the perfect weapon. Rapunzel couldn't have known that Gothel had been planning to take her revenge on the kingdom that had cast her out. I think she meant to just say cast her out. And when news arrived of the Moonstone, Gothel knew her next move. After months of searching, at last she had found it, the dark, destructive counterpart to Rapunzel's sun-given gifts. Now, finally, Gothel could send her transformed daughter into the world, armed with the ability to spread darkness and decay. The task was simple: destroy the kingdom, wipe out those who had ever threatened them, and secure their safety forever. Oh boy. Rapunzel, twisted by heartbreak and manipulated by her mother, eagerly accepted, and a chill descended on the kingdom for the storm that was coming. Bye. Well, guys, this is it. I'm nervous, yet excited to see where Rapunzel's story is going to end up, and I'm worried about Flynn and the Kingdom of Corona, and I guess we'll just have to see what's going to happen. Let's check it out. Here we go.
Looking around, the kingdom seems calm and quiet, so unaware of what walks the streets. You are the villains lying sweet and silent. You can beg, you can plead, but I know what I've seen. Who would I be if I ignore this chant? You are the wolves and I am the sheep. What kind of idiot sheep will I be to decline any wolves when the power's in me to protect those I love and ensure your threat dies? So I'll embrace the shadows, make my home the dark. This dying world, my canvas, I'll make works of art. Freely forfeit my soul, my very essence scarred. My heart may cease, but my life begins. Are you surprised to see me? Thought there was no way that sweet, naive girl would come looking for you. Maybe that was true once, not anymore. I should thank you for showing me how foolish I was. Sweet and dumb child, she falls for any smile. Well, I vow never to be that again. If it means losing me to make sure of your end, then I'll dive into hell, and I'm bringing you to. So I'll embrace the shadows, make my home the dark. This dying world, my canvas, I'll make works of art. Freely forfeit my soul, my very essence scarred. My heart may cease, but my life begins. And I'll keep wandering and 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 wandering. Filled in shadows, I don't have a say. A sheep tried to tame a wolf and ended up its prey. Live my life in the light, only to live a lie. If I die, I'll not be blinded by your sound, by your sound. And I'll keep wandering and 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 wandering. You are the wolves and I am the sheep. What kind of idiot sheep would I be to decline any wolf?
Dang. Holy crap. Again, I go back to what I've been saying, you know. You lose yourself in darkness. You let it consume you. You let your bitterness and your hatred and all of that negative energy just consume you, and soon enough, you lose sight of everything, and you could just tell, like, little by little, especially in that one, you could tell as, you know, you saw all that stuff flashing before her, and, you know, you saw, especially with, you know, Flynn's face, you know, you saw his face, you know, just become that mask, you know, that emphasized, you know, losing sight of who he was. Her perception of him had changed. She lost sight of who he was. And then, you know, a dang tractor driving by the house. You threw off my groove. You threw off my train of thought. But yeah, it's like she was starting to lose, you know, not just, you know, herself, you know, her, like, you saw, like, her hair, it was turning first black and then it was turning blue, and that was with the help of that moonstone. What's with the traffic? Oy vey. Ever since our dirt road got paved, it's like people have been just driving by, I swear. But yeah, like I was saying, the transformation isn't just physical, you know, you saw her hair turn at first black and then her hair turned blue, and that was with the help of the moonstone. The transformation isn't just physical, you saw, you know, her perception of people, you know, you saw how, you know, how she saw people, you know, all of a sudden, their faces, their actual faces became villainous, deceitful masks, you know. She saw first the people, their actual faces got replaced by villainous looking masks, like on Flynn. And then in her mind, you saw how they slowly began to change, you know, how her memories, you know, of how, you know, her and Flynn dancing together, all of a sudden that just changed to, oh, you know, I'm just taking advantage of you. It's like her memories themselves all of a sudden were starting to get altered. And then I just love, right there at the end, Flynn is just trying to pull her back from the brink, you know, trying to show her that, no, I'm not like you think. You've been told a lie, you know. He's trying so desperately to show her, no, you're not evil. It's not how you've been told. Mother Gothel has been lying to you. And the song really ends on a cliffhanger, and I'm wondering if, you know, this is truly the end of Rapunzel's villain song, or if Lydia is going to expand on this, you know? This is going to be interesting, and, you know, and what is this moonstone that, you know, it's said that, you know, it's like the opposite of that flower. And you saw how, where it's like the flower has regenerative capabilities, now this moonstone has the opposite effect. It takes life and it has decaying properties, where you saw like the plant life, you know, withered and rotted, and all the plants just like wilted and died. So it makes me wonder, you know, what becomes of that moonstone, because you saw all the spiky thorns coming up out of the background and how everything just, boom, faded to black, and you saw Flynn just hugging Rapunzel, and her hair, it seemed, was going back to normal. And so it ended like on a real cliffhanger, and so I'm wondering what is going to happen, like, you know, is Lydia going to expand on this? Is there going to be more? You know, are we left to just ponder, you know, what ultimately happens to Rapunzel and Flynn? Because, you know, like I said, it ends on a cliffhanger right then and there, and, you know, Flynn just, you know, hugs her as if to say, you know, no, I'm not leaving you again, you know. What happened is not what you think. I will explain everything. I will tell you the truth, and, you know, I don't care. You know, I'm not leaving you. You know, it kind of reminds me of Ahsoka and Darth Vader in the Season 2 finale of Rebels, you know. I won't leave you. Not this time. And, you know, I don't care. And just emotional. That's one of Lydia's greatest qualities with these videos. She has the ability to really pull at your heartstrings, really gets down and really knows how to, you know, I don't want to say play with your emotions, but she really knows how to affect your emotions or, you know, gets them going. Well done, Lydia. Well done. And like I said before, my respect for Lydia always grows and grows and grows with each and every video, and my expectations of Lydia always grows and grows and grows with each and every video, and these videos are no exception. And I do have other, I took the liberty of going through Lydia's channel to find all the other Disney villain songs that I haven't reacted to, except for the ones that I've already seen, that I didn't do reaction videos for, that I obviously can't do reactions for because I've already seen them, like Mirabelle's first villain song. That one was actually the very first Lydia the Bard song that I actually saw that attracted me to the channel and led me to subscribe. I really wish I had done a reaction video to that because, man, I got hooked from that first video. But yeah, I took the liberty to go through and find like every, you know, Disney villain song that Lydia has done so far, and I made sure to save them to a playlist so that I can do reaction videos because I want to react to all of them. But yeah, I will eventually do react videos to every single one of Lydia's Disney villain songs because I love Disney and Lydia always does amazing work. So bravo, Lydia, bravo. And she is over 600,000 subscribers now. Awesome work, Lydia. You are well on your way to getting a million subscribers. So I wish you the best on that, and you're gonna get there, no problem. You are well on your way. Once again, I would like to thank at Victor Peruskia-GT600. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. If I'm not, I truly apologize. And I would also like to thank at Cliff1572 for requesting that I react to this. It was such a treat, you guys. Thank you so much for requesting that I react to this. I am sorry it took me so long to get to this. Like I said, I've been busy with work and rehearsal, and I have been battling my depression. It is so hard to find the time and the motivation to get to do more videos, but I finally, you know, was able to do it, and I am so thankful that I did. So thank you so much to both of you for requesting this, and I really do appreciate it, you guys. And I want to thank all of you for sticking with me during this very difficult time as I deal with my depression. I am up to more than 3,200 subscribers. It really means the world to me, guys, that you have stuck with me through this whole entire difficult process. Thank you guys so much for your patience and your understanding and just sticking with me throughout this whole thing. And it really does mean the world to me. I know that sounds like totally cliche to say, but it really does mean the world to me. So thank you all so, so much. I really do appreciate all of you, each and every one of you. Thank you all so much. Well, that being said, I am going to be ending this video here, you guys. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. It has been such a fun video to do, and I have a lot of editing to do to get this up and running. So if you liked it, please be sure to give it a big thumbs up. Let me know down in the comments below how you think I'm doing, what other videos you want me to react to. Just remember, please keep the comments kind. Also, be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to get notified about my latest videos. Thanks again so much for watching, you guys, and I'll see you all in the next video. Roll the outro!